Hello, everyone. Speaker on.
Hey, hello. Hi.
Okay, everyone, sorry about that. I'm adding Jackie from Litentry right now. Let me add him in. Go. Hey, Jackie, how you doing? Sorry about that. Had a little issue trying to add you back in. So,
Thank you.
good
Thank you
morning
so
or
much
good
for
evening.
having me today here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, thank you, Arizona.
Great. Yeah, and you can call me Tom too, by the way. So.
Okay, thank you, Tom.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Okay, cool. I think we're all set. So welcome, everyone. This is another Bifrost AMA, and we're super happy to have Jackie from Litentry. So it's a really, really interesting project and really another great project on the ecosystem with Kasama. So yeah, I just want to kick it off by, maybe asking you maybe to introduce yourself and introduce the project, Litentry as a whole, and love to hear about it.
Yeah, thank you, Tom. Thank you, Bifrost, for having me here. It's a great partnership. Excited to work with you guys. This is Jackie. I am the director of growth from Litentry, and about Litentry, we feel like there's a lot of problem that we are facing right now in the Web3 world. Comparing to the Web2 world that we're having, for example, like Facebook, Amazon. One major issue is that like the procedural anonymous blockchain networks makes it really makes daily users really difficult to like validate our fragmented identity data. So it caused some huge problem. For example, like users are not able to claim the full benefits for owning their own identity like you do in the Facebook or Instagram. So therefore, like having this, applications are forced to limit the range and quality of the service. And also there will be some privacy invasion and personal data breach practice happening in the space. And what Litentry is doing is that we are a privacy preserved DID. So DID stands for decentralized identity aggregator that serves a really unique function in the Polkadot ecosystem. And basically what we do is that what we do is that we aggregate your identity that are left out on different blockchains, and we pull them all together, so that and also after we pull them all together, we'll be doing some data calculation, and then bring a full identity profile that belongs to you in the blockchain world. And after, for example, after we became a parachain, we'll be able to like identity service and functions to really power better Web3 services. For example, I can give you some examples. For example, with your asset holding status and borrowing history, we can calculate an individual credit rating for you to go to a decentralized lending protocol like Konami and say, hey, I had a really good credit rating from collateral rates. For example, with on-chain governance history, we can solve some big whale issues and really empower those with good on-chain behavior and special contribution. And also, like when we by bringing together your social media accounts like Twitter with Ethereum addresses and Polkadot addresses, we have a new product called My Crypto Profile that really bridge the gap between the two distinct Web 2 and Web 3 world, and really address the major concern in the NFT industry around like lack of display channels. And with all the on-chain activity data that we aggregate and attach to addresses, a user could generate like proof in a decentralized way and submit that to like other on-chain business like the IDO and airdropping, whitelisting, and there are definitely so much more that we can achieve.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think this, the whole decentralized identity is just going to be monstrously huge. So that is really cool.
Yeah.
Great. So a couple more. Another question I just wanted to ask you, and kind of maybe talk about like why Polkadot? Why did you decide to go that way? I mean, is it substrate, just being so modular and easy to work with, or is it there are other things? Is the security layer like what was like some of the most important things? Why did you guys choose to run on Polkadot?
I mean, in comparison to Kusama, right?
I'm sorry, I should say Polkadot Kasama. I'm saying this ecosystem versus like going with Ethereum or Solana or something else. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, of course. Like actually before at the very very early stage of the Litentry project, we actually we were trying to build on Ethereum, but it's actually really really hard for a project, for developer and also for users that we found to really use this really idle network, that the gas fee and the duration time is just like really exhausting. And also like although we have many different like layer 2 solutions like sharding solutions, um, for our perspective, that doesn't help with the fact that every single blockchain is isolated and they can't really exchange assets and really share security. That's why we choose Polkadot, because every blockchain, every project that built on with the substrate framework is a blockchain. So you do after you become a parachain, you do share a security, and you can transfer asset and share a lot of different good interoperability. Having your underlying having your underlying ideas and infrastructure very in a distinctive way, so every project, every blockchain can be different but seamlessly working together. So that's why we choose Polkadot.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a great answer. Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan. I mean, I do development on quite a bit, and I do love Substrate. Substrate's so much easier to build upon and you do get that extra layer of security and easy to work with. Yeah, cool, awesome. So I guess one more thing too before we go on to other questions. Before we go, a couple more questions. Want to know, what is your guys' attention for? What is your strategy for the crowd loan? And then also, like, how are you guys going to use? What are you planning on? How do you planning on using? How many dots are planned to be used to bid on slots? And rewards distributed. So like, how's that whole process? How are you guys? What is your strategy with the Crowdloan?
Okay, so to explain our strategy, I would like to share, we actually did a really comprehensive one-pager, easy to understand one-pager to like let everybody know like our strategy in a better way. So I've shared my screen. I'm not sure. Have you guys? Okay.
Yep, we can see it perfectly. Awesome.
Cool. So like in the basic ideas of designing this Crowdloan strategy, we have been, balancing the interests of the various party, including like current lead holder, new voters, the price of lead, and the post parachain auction lead reserve for the future project growth. So we definitely wanted to, reward our supporters as much as possible while keeping our token enough for the rest of the future, because we definitely want to stay long term. So in terms of how many which slot we're bidding, we are expected to participate in the Polkadot auction from the first slot and continue to bid until we secure a slot. And in terms of the time duration, if we win the slot, everybody knows that the leasing period would be 96 weeks, which is 2 years. And for the reward, we actually have like a basic reward and an extra reward. So the basic token lit reward pool would be 20 million lit, which is 20% of our total supply. And also we do have like some extra bonus of up to 20%. And please mindful, like this is not like, because I talk about 20%. So so the extra bonus is 20% of the 20% mission criteria. We will be giving away 20.
Sorry, guys. It looks like we're having a little, I think, streaming issue. Just 1 second. I think Jackie's trying to reconnect. Just give him 1 second. I know that's right. This is right when everybody wants to hear about the tokenomics and stuff. So give me 1 second. We're going to add him back in.
Hey, it's just cut off.
No problem. Yeah. I was just gonna message you. Yeah, perfect. Okay, awesome. Yeah.
Where was I? So I think we are in the hard cap bet. So the good thing about us is we do have a hard cap of 8 million DOT, just to try to maximize your ratio, your lit reward ratio as much as possible. Which means that once the total staking DOT reach 8 million, we will stop accepting bid. And yes, and as I mentioned, like the total reward is 20 million lit. So you're not actually exchanging your DOT with for lit. You're staking for it. So you're not giving up your upward potential for your lit, but while receiving a really yummy lit reward. And minimum contribution would be 5 DOT. So if like assuming we are reaching the hard cap of 8 million, for every slot you stake, you're getting 2.5 lit as your reward. And this is just the minimum number, assuming the hard cap of 8 million is reached. So the formula would be, like how many lit you're getting would be your DOT contribution over your total DOT, over our total DOT contribution pool, and times 20 million lit. So for example, if the total DOT we receive is 4 million DOT, your reward ratio would be doubled. And yes, of course, we do have some extra bonus for you. And first of all, we have the early bird starting right now. And for those who stake their DOT on the Litentry parachain VOD, will receive a 10% of extra bonus. So I guess tomorrow would be the deadline. So please do it right now if you're interested. And yeah, that means we have a maximum 2 million allocated for the early bird participants, and we also have another 10% extra identity related bonus. So feel free to check out our Twitter for them. And yes, and also because we're not DeFi protocol like Bifrost, we do need to, we do concern about, our supporters' liquidity concern. So definitely, that's why we partnered with Bifrost. This is a parachain network that provides liquidity for staking tokens. And then Bifrost, by partnering with Bifrost, they will provide Litentry Crowdloan contributor with liquidity dot derivative. One is via start, and the other one is via spawn for the contribution. Yes, and
that's the big thing. I think I think a lot of people were with the poke, with especially people that have participated in Kasama, being the fact that it's 48 weeks.
Yeah.
Then hopping over to dot, being 96 weeks, it is a while. And so, being liquid I think solves the problem, because I think that's a lot of people's hesitation. I mean, a lot of people understand that, these projects on Polkadot
the sweet, and the sweet spot is that although, even though you are contributing through Bifrost, you are not foregoing all the extra benefit and basic benefit that I just mentioned. So you do get some extra liquidity and some extra reward through this partnership.
Yeah, it's a great deal. I think it's a win-win for everybody. Everybody gets to, we do get to build these amazing products. We do get to help, and being, contributor. I do think, like projects like yourself, like Litentry is just a really cool project. And I think people being a part of it is so cool. And the fact that we can do this without, locking up for 48 weeks, I'm sorry, for 96 weeks, I should say, with Polkadot, it's a huge deal. So very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah,
I would have had that concern.
Yeah, it is. It's a big concern, because we all know the markets are so volatile and everything, and people are concerned about that. So, yeah, definitely. So I guess that, is that kind of like what attracted you most to working with Bifrost, just being the fact that keeping your users liquid and stuff? Was that one of the most attractive things with partnering with Bifrost, or? Just curious. Or do you have anything else? Are you kind of, is there anything else that with Bifrost that really interests you, or is there, I guess,
of course. I think beside, the liquidity, option that you guys have provided, it's definitely top of the industry. And I think, the Bifrost team has been, really supportive in the Litentry Crowdloan. Not only it has, the stock auction liquidity protocol provided, an alternative option for our supporters to vote in a more flexible liquidity solution, but it also provides some extra reward for the Litentry contributor to support us. So definitely we're more than happy to work with Bifrost to build up such a beneficial Crowdloan channel to support the entire ecosystem project on Polkadot. And also in the future, when we all onboarded as a parachain, there would be definitely more synergies created between Bifrost and Litentry, and definitely some DID adoption in the Polkadot system has a really huge potential to be the most successful use case in this industry, because I think as I mentioned, Polkadot has the native infrastructure that increase cross-chain efficiency, and it's a really friendly open ecosystem.
It really is. Yeah, I know. That's what I feel like. It's very, I don't look at a lot of the projects through here. I don't think we look at each other as, as competition. It's more of like an ally. I think love building up on this amazing blockchain highway that we have on Kasama and Polkadot. So yeah, definitely really cool. So if Litentry gets wins the slot auction, what is your guys' plans like as far as to do with that slot? Do you guys have anything big with that slot? What is like your end goal with this slot? I'm just kind of curious about that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, in a more broader way or high level, on a high level perspective, if we wins the slot auction and become a Polkadot parachain connected and secured by the central relay chain, and we as a project built on Substrate, we will share the benefit from the security, scalability, interoperability, and the governance of the Polkadot network with our own individualized design. And also, I think it's the composability nature allows of us Bifrost, Litentry sharing of data and asset between the chain, and it opened up some really new use case host and application that is beyond everyone's imagination. And to be more specifically, after we win the slot, we are able to deploy our Litentry decentralized identity aggregation protocol. That means we can aggregate your identity data in Web3 in a decentralized way to support many different use cases. So right now we are not on mainnet yet because we haven't become a parachain. But after we become a parachain, we will be able to launch our mainnet, and all our use cases in our deck will be able to fully come into life. And
Cool.
actually, we already have a number of applications in the ecosystem right now that is running off-chain. For example, we helped Polkastarter to do on-chain ideal whitelisting, helping them to source real life users anti-bot. We do some anti-bot service for Polkastarter, and we have my crypto profile, as I introduced before, to support linking your Twitter account with your Ethereum address and so showcase your NFT collection. And we have like Web3 Go, a Polkadot data analyst platform. We also have a lot of projects that is building infrastructure around Litentry's DID protocol, like Polkadot Name Service (PNS). So after we became parachain, all these services will onboard to Litentry chain, and we will interoperate and become a new ecosystem and economy.
Gives you guys a lot more options. That's awesome. Yeah, it sounds like you guys have been super busy. I didn't know about the Polkastarter either about that. So that's pretty cool. Very awesome. Yeah. So to piggyback on that, we do have some user questions, and you just kind of mentioned it briefly. But how do you guys plan on monetizing the vast amount of data from the Web3? And then and how to do so? Like, and will the data be owned by the users, the decentralized apps, or the Litentry ecosystem, I should say? So that's kind of what the question is asking. So like, how are you guys planning on like monetizing that vast amount of data, and who owns it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Monetizing. Okay.
Yeah.
So we don't actually. We're not issuing a social token or anything. So we do not support. It's not falling to our idea to support monetizing your identity, or like you have some built up reputation and you can sell it off to for profit. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. So what we are trying to do is we hope to help you increase your reputation in a decentralized way. So we help you to form an identity with some good behavior in the blockchain native world, and be able to. We help you to use this reputation or credit rating. Once we achieve the interoperability, can enjoy a really specific right and interest in the Web3 world. That's the benefit that you will be getting. For example, like as I mentioned, you go to a DeFi protocol, and with like good on-chain behavior, you will be getting lower collateral ratio that really increase your capital efficiency. For example, if you have a good on-chain governance behavior on Near protocol, that Kusama governance council would definitely welcome you to onboard and to play a major role into coming up with some valuable proposal, and probably would be giving you some extra voting right because you have a proved past good on-chain behavior. That sort of benefit that you will be getting. So it's not like selling your identity for profit. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that makes sense. And then, so just to clarify too, one of the things is that so the data is owned by the user. Then, in that perspective, it sounds like you're empowering the users with their.
Yeah.
Is that
So
correct?
we do have a really strict user data authorization control and privacy protection setting So in our web apps that is going to be launching after we become the parachain. So yeah, to be first, we don't store any user data. So what we store is the linking relationship between different addresses, and on our web app, user would definitely have the full rights to decide like what addresses you would like to link or delink, and which DApps you would like them to index your identity data. And also, we also integrate like Substrate's privacy computation solutions. So, which means that when calculating your identity data, even our validator has no knowledge to the actual identity data they are actually calculating. So it's all going to be encrypted, and only the user itself would get the full picture of the identity data they own.
Awesome. Perfect. Cool. So I guess we have a couple other. So what makes Litentry different than from like other decentralized identity projects? So I know there's some out there, and like what really differentiates? Where do you guys see as your most differential feature, maybe?
Yes. So as far as we concern, that we do not have a competitor out there. It's not because of arrogance.
Oh, sorry.
It's
I didn't mean you have lots of competitors, but yeah, as far as like people that want to get in this space, the identity space.
Yeah. So our idea is that, like, for example, I don't want to name it, but like some other DID projects, what they do is to bring your identity data in the Web 2 world or Web 1 world. For example, your geographic location, your age, your gender, your ID numbers and ID name. That sort of Web 2 information into blockchain, into the Web3 world. So they are bringing that up. But what we do is like we only focus on the decentralized identity data. For example, your account, your asset holding status, your on-chain governance, participation, your liquidity providing history. All these are blockchain native data that we only focus on that. So we don't touch any of your KYC information. So that's what we differentiate ourselves from different other DID projects.
Awesome. Perfect. Cool. Okay. Awesome. And then let's see. We have a couple other. Yeah. So one user right here is asking this question, which is Liquid Litentry expected to have a slight discount than actual Litentry? So like which like as far as will want to be able to stake Liquid Litentry on Bifrost and Litentry or some other stablecoin, like so I think they're wondering, is there going to be like a slight discount on that, or is there any issue with that? Like, and then
well, I think you guys are a better answer for this question. But
yeah,
as
I
far
think
as
so too. I know I actually don't know the answer yet to that because I know the partnership's brand new. So
yes,
yeah,
we'll see if there is a discount or premium. But like as far as my understanding, like any derivative, there is no 100% price, the match with the actual asset itself. So I would see this as a future. So a future would be, the future expectation of price of the actual asset. So we'll see if there's a discount or premium. But I don't think there will be a lot difference in terms of the price of the derivatives and the actual asset itself. Yeah.
Right. Perfect. Cool. Let's see. So, and let's see. I think we have a couple other. So we did talk about the data rights to the users and stuff. So, yeah. So I think that one's already been answered. And let's see. The crowd loan is so long. Yeah. Somebody was asked about locking in. So, what are the possible risks you might encounter, and how do you face that? I think that's so. Not sure if we want to answer that one. The crowd loan is so yeah. So yeah, think that's part of just the risk of just being the long time. I think that's what Bifrost is taking care of. So yeah, so one user is asking about the crowd loan is so long and must lock the dot. You got to lock the dot in the parachain, and that's a long time. So I think that's where you guys are looking at Bifrost to solve, which I think is a big huge feature for you.
Yeah, so I think what Bifrost is doing is protecting the liquidity, is maximizing the liquidity of the asset that you stake. But like, I would like to add something to the reward that you're getting. So it's two sides. So you're staking something and getting something. So you're staking the dot, and Bifrost is protecting that. But you're what you're getting is the project that you support, their native token. So they are not giving you on 11th of November. So they're distributing to you in a linear way throughout 96 weeks. So I would definitely recommend you guys to treat this as an investment option instead of speculation. So I think Litentry is listed on Binance with a lot of liquidity. So it faced the already been on Binance for a long time. So I would definitely recommend you guys to stake with Litentry, because comparing to some other projects that that is riskier and probably not on an exchange. So definitely so stake with some solid team and stable team like Bifrost and Litentry.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, stay away from these decentralized. We don't know what, especially with I love supporting the crowd loans, but we don't know. And even if centralized exchange X is very legitimate and very good, they have no control over the next 2 years of what's going to happen with the governments and stuff, with regulation, with this, with that. We also don't know who's going to be in charge of that exchange in a year or two. So yeah, I definitely would not lock it up on a centralized exchange. Definitely. So yeah, I love the fact that we are seeing these solutions, with to support projects like yourself through like Bifrost. So perfect. Cool. So I'm trying to think if we have anything else coming in. Let's see, we have a couple others in order to make so the next, do you guys have plans for the next crowd loan? So for the next auction, if you guys, assuming you guys win, obviously I don't want to get your sights too far out because you guys are trying to win this auction right now. But do you guys have any plans for the future to kind of guard? Are you guys going to have a treasury set up, or how are you guys looking at taking on that next one? If you guys already have plans on that, it's fine if you don't, because definitely think you want to win this one first. But yeah, so.
Well, our primary objective is to win the first round. So as far as the ranking itself, we are pretty safe, but it's not the end. So yeah, we're definitely going to be launching some marketing campaigns, some new campaign, some new activities to incentivize people to stake for us. And yeah, so in terms of treasury, I don't think we have anything planned right now. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, I guess we have another question in the chat room from Remy. I want to read this. So on Bifrost, let me just read this out to you. So on Bifrost crowd loans, most of the liquidity farms fail after, say, 1 month due to low returns, BTC drops, market, whatever. What's your strategy on keeping a stable returns? Also, would like to know, what are the lit use cases? At the moment, I see there's little or no utility to this asset. So I'm not sure. Yeah, so I think he's asking more on as far as I guess protecting the asset's value, anything in place there, and then also too, what are actually the use cases for the actual lit token? He's not talking about the project because I think everybody's interested in the project. So maybe you can explain that a little bit.
Yeah, so in terms of use cases, I've already explained it, in my intro about Litentry before. So there are a lot of use cases in the DID. Like think of like in a Web 2 world when you have an identity, what kind of service you can get. What kind of service you can get when you have an identity. Well, there is tons of, like, beyond your imagination, like millions of different use cases you can get. And yeah, so a good thing about answering your question is to follow our Twitter. We are going to be having a full use cases article in the next coming days. So yeah, stay tuned, and we have that use cases article.
I'm sure you guys have a lot planned for the lit token itself. So cool. And then so I think that about let's see. And then one more thing. We did talk about this, but this question did come up from community members, so I just want to make sure we definitely tag it, tackle it appropriately. We did talk earlier about why you chose the Polkadot Kusama ecosystem, but why did you chose Polkadot instead of issuing a Canary network? So what was the reasoning?
Yeah, so I mean, like we all know, like Kusama and Polkadot are cousin network, but like although we know the benefits of becoming Kusama, but definitely we consider the preparation of work for the Kusama auction is on a comparable scale on Polkadot, and also the auction will also involve a really independent parachain token economy. So it'll be at that point of time, it'll be impossible for us to regard a network on Kusama as merely a testnet, because we have been rapidly grow in a relatively mature parachain with ongoing use cases and some really very diverse product line. So a network that prioritizes stability like Polkadot and security is our best bet. Yes, so
I think that makes sense.
Yeah, so our protocol is more closely aligned with Polkadot's value, which is to elevate cross-chain. So that's why.
And you definitely have the stability. I think definitely some teams need to be very agile and quick, and need to get the latest testing mechanism. But I think you guys are you guys need to take that more security approach, more solid tested approach. Yeah, because you guys are trying to be a platform for these identities. So cool. I definitely think that makes a lot of sense. So awesome. Yeah, great. So yeah, I don't know if we have anything else. I think that's about it. Do you have any last closing moments? Anything you want to tell Can you tell anybody else anything else that we missed, or?
No, like please do just follow our Twitter. We have all the newses and all the updates and announcement there. And yeah, please also follow Bifrost Twitter if you came in as a Litentry's community members, because both of our team is going to do something really great after the parachain auction. And yeah, please stay tuned.
Yeah, I love the partnership, and I'm very excited, and excited to see what you guys do. You guys definitely are a very cool project, and I think very needed space. So yeah, especially with identity is a huge deal. So awesome. Thanks, Jackie. I really appreciate your time and appreciate it, and love seeing this build out. So
thank you.
Thanks
for your time.
Take care. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.